Thank you for the safe journey that each one of the counselors and administration, dear God, and the people that's reporting to us have enjoyed today, dear Lord. We thank you for this opportunity to serve the Cherokee people. Be with us, lead us, guide us, and direct us, and give us wisdom, dear God, in the issues that we deal with on a daily basis. Forgive us of our sins. Be with us all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Councilor Callis. And Shelley, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Johnny Kidwell.
Here.
Kevin Easley. Here. Sasha Black Fox Qualls. Here. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Joe Deere. Ashley Grant. Here. Uriah Grass. Lisa Hall.
Here.
Clifton Hughes. Here. Daryl Legg. Here. Kendra McGady. Here. Dora Petskowski. Here. Cody Poindexter.
Honey.
Joshua Sam. Melvina Shot Pouch. Condessa Teehee.
Honey.
We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you, Shelley. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from September 25th, 2025. A second? All right. I hear a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. The motion passes. We're moving on to reports from the Marshal Service. Acting Marshal Daniel Meade.
CO Council, we doing all right? I'm sorry, I have a big smile on my face. It is, today, just loving today. Don't know why. Don't know why. But, right? Just happy. Today's the day the Lord has made. You guys have my stats, my books. If you guys have any questions, I got something to pass along right afterwards, though.
Any questions for Acting Marshal Meade? Yes. Councilman Poindexter, please.
Not a question, just a comment. I'd just like to give recognition to the officer who acted yesterday at the Elder Summit. Is it Kyle Whitmire?
Yes.
He was first to respond when the elder had a situation, and he's one of the most kind-hearted individuals that I think you have there, and he's definitely a good one, and I just want to give him recognition for his kind heart and compassion for our elders.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for stealing my good news. Yeah, but for those ones who don't know, yesterday during the Elder Summit, a lady was choking on her food. It was her niece, flagged down Deputy Marshal Kyle Whitmire. She went down, she went out. He did the Heimlich maneuver, and she awakened, was able to dislodge the food. EMS took her out to the truck. She said she was fine, shook it off, and came back in. And so I am going to be putting him up for a life-saving award for that. It's just another thing that I get to lead these men and women, and I get so happy. And I hope the Cherokee people in council in this administration just know how blessed we are to have the men and women that is either our fire, or EMS, our marshals, our EM. We have a good group of men and women. It's just unbelievable.
Councilor Callison.
Yeah, Marshal Meade, I just want to thank you for my district. You had your robotic dog up probably last month a couple of times to help. Law enforcement just brags on you guys all the time about the effort you give them and the assistance you're able to do with those things. And I know a lot of those communities can't afford some of the stuff that we have, but you're always there to help them out and saving lives. And I just appreciate your response, and I appreciate the good job you've done.
Well, thank you very much.
Any other? Yeah, Councilman Hall, please.
I just want to say thank you for investing in training for these marshals to handle situations like that, especially in our community. It means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And like I said, I've said it. I said we're the standard, and it's trainings like this. People say, "Oh, they're doing trainings or they're doing this." That's why, because that one person for the whole training, that one person is who we're looking for to save. Because that's a whole family, the whole bloodline that would have been affected if he wasn't had the proper training. So I fully stand behind it. So thank you.
Any other questions? Well, sir, thank you for coming in today. Indeed, it is a good day.
Yes, it is.
And it'll get better as the day goes along, I would say.
I sure hope so.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, next up from the Office of the Attorney General, General Chad Harshaw, please.
Good afternoon. Few updates to share. So earlier this year, and I've provided an update every meeting so far this year on the Ballard and Iskey litigation that we have pending in the Northern and Eastern District. We've been litigating that case for the better part of this year, and it's been fully briefed for motions to dismiss and then also additional motion practice that's moving. But it is one of the cases that has been slowed a bit as a result of the government shutdown. It's not uncommon for DOJ with the limited resources that follow along with shutdowns. Historically have asked a number of cases all across the country to be stayed until the government shutdown's resolved. That is true in that case, so there hasn't been a whole lot of movement. But one of the things that we did ask the court is to go ahead, in the meantime, consider the fully briefed motions to dismiss that were filed by the state defendants, and the court did agree to do that. So even though the government shutdown has slowed the progress and movement of that litigation, the court still does currently have for its consideration a resolution of that piece, which is the first threshold for whether or not the litigation will continue. So hopefully there's good news coming in the near future on the status of government operations, and that litigation will hopefully move back into an aggressive posture to get resolved in the Northern District. A couple other things I would love to highlight. First, the Strobel case. We're all familiar with the Oklahoma Supreme Court's fairly recent decision regarding income taxation in Indian country, which was a case brought by an individual claimant in the Muskogee Nation Reservation as against the Oklahoma Tax Commission and tax assessments against income derived from reservation sources. The opinion of the Oklahoma Supreme Court found in favor of the Oklahoma Tax Commission. Sometime after that, an appeal was filed with the United States Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court is currently considering whether or not to accept certiorari on that case and take up the issue. We were involved in the briefing at the early levels of the Oklahoma Supreme Court's review, along with the Chickasaw and the Choctaw Nation, sharing our views on the case and providing papers that we think reflect an accurate assessment of Oklahoma law, federal Indian law, and related matters. And so we do expect and intend to file a brief tomorrow by the deadline in that case, encouraging the Oklahoma Supreme Court to review this and providing our perspectives on the litigation. And so that should occur sometime middle of day tomorrow. And Mr. Speaker, if I may, I could forward to your council a copy of that briefing that we expect to be filed tomorrow. It's too early to tell whether or not the Supreme Court is going to take that case, but hopefully we'll have some indication by the end of the year of whether that case is going to proceed on to the next Supreme Court docket. And then lastly, there's been some information shared in the media about hunting and fishing. I think I did present an email to the council or to Chief's office that was presented to the council regarding developments by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation and their position and views on tribal licenses in reservations in Oklahoma being sufficient for licensing purposes. There was a statement released by the Department of Wildlife Conservation that they were not going to acknowledge tribal law, at least the laws that the major tribes in Oklahoma that have had reservation status reaffirmed that apply specifically to licensing. It is a very different approach than what the Wildlife Department has taken in the past. It was quite aggressive. I will say that we have not seen any citations for violation of Cherokee Nation's Tribal Wildlife Code in the Cherokee Nation Reservation, but I understand other tribes have. Not very many, but there are some out there, with an announcement today coming from Attorney General Drummond as to his actions that he intends to take with respect to the Wildlife Department's, what I view as provocations in that way. Our law is clear, as it has been since we amended it when the Hunting and Fishing Compact was not renewed by the governor back in 2021. We've prescribed wildlife rules as similar to the state of Oklahoma for licensing. The bag limits and season dates all align with state conservation practices, and that is the law of the day in the Cherokee Nation. And despite the change in position by the Wildlife Department, that is still our law, and we've provided resources on our website for the the Natural Resources Department website and our Wildlife Conservation Department website with information that we've made publicly available for in the past and that apply currently, and also contact forms and other ways to reach our department if you run into any issues or any of your constituents run into any issues while they're hunting and fishing. But just to be clear, we have not identified or been made aware of any citations being issued by the Wildlife Department just yet, although there has been threats of such and there has been interactions amongst wildlife conservation officers working for the state when they've interacted with tribal citizens hunting and fishing under our code. And I don't know if there's any questions that you all may have specifically on that topic, but I know it's gained a fair amount of attention in the media recently. So.
Is there any questions for General Harshaw? Yes, Councilor Callison?
Mr. Harshaw, if somebody does get a ticket for not having a fishing and hunting license, don't they have the opportunity to either go to the state court or have it sent down here to the tribal court?
So the way that the way that the law should apply is that if you're issued a citation for hunting and fishing under Cherokee Nation Code and you're a tribal citizen, you should be subject to the jurisdiction of tribal court, and that citation should be turned over to the Attorney General's office here at Cherokee Nation and the Cherokee Nation District Court for adjudication. That is the law of McGirt. That is what the way that the Wildlife Department has operated up to this point. But it would appear that the State Wildlife Department, and I presume at the direction of the executive branch of this state government, has indicated publicly that they intend to try to file those charges in state court. Again, that hasn't happened here in the Cherokee Nation, but that is what the State Wildlife Department has indicated they intend to do. It would be our position that they don't have jurisdiction. There has been some cases developed, the O'Brien case, and there's some very wobbly and haphazard link to this Strobel case, which really has no bearing on this matter, in my view, to try to suggest that state courts would have jurisdiction. But if someone is issued a citation, of course, that should be resolved in court and not, out when folks are out in the woods hunting and fishing. I mean, cool head should prevail in those situations. But we are asking folks, if that does happen, to let us know. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a fact-intensive inquiry based on a specific situation of whether or not we would get involved, but we would certainly like to know. And to answer your question directly, I don't think it's consistent with federal law. Sir.
Councilor Grass.
Mr. Harshaw, if you could stick around for a few minutes, I have some follow-up questions to Councilor Callison.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions for General Harshaw? General Harshaw, I've got a couple of questions for you, and they both kind of stem from this hunting and fishing. Now, how do you feel about our intertribal, 5 civilized tribes, intertribal hunting and fishing agreement? How do we stand on that? Are we solid there?
I think we are. When we amended our code back in 2022, we contemplated that there could be a reciprocal agreement of this nature between the 5 tribes, which is something that we've talked about for a number of years, particularly after McGirt and the advancing of wildlife after the compacts were not renewed by the state. I believe that we're within our legal rights to do so, and we have done so. We made some technical amendments to the code, I think about a year and a half ago, that after the agreement was executed and approved by the body of the 5 Tribes Council. And I think it is appropriate under federal law, and I think it's appropriate under the laws of the Cherokee Nation. There's some components of that agreement where all of the tribes agree to adopt consistency to some degree in bag limits, season dates, conservation standards, in addition to licensing. And so there was a lot of work that went into ensuring the framework of that agreement with respect to reciprocity amongst the tribes could be effective. And so far, it's worked quite effectively, and I believe it is consistent with our law and consistent with our federal legal rights.
That's good to know. It's nice to know that that you feel like we're on good, solid ground there. It's good for the people to understand as well. My other question is about the at-large citizens that we are allowed to come back in and hunt and fish on their tribal land here. How do we stand on that? What are your thoughts on that one as well?
Well, I mean, that is what our law provides, right? We provide Cherokee citizens have the right to, hunt and fish within our licensing framework, within the Cherokee Nation Reservation, and by extension, reciprocity where appropriate. That's what our law provides, and that's the rule of the day in the Cherokee Nation. It wouldn't matter if you were a citizen of another state; it would matter that you're a Cherokee citizen, and that is what our code provides, and that's what we enforce.
Perfect, General Harshaw. I appreciate you. There's about 200,000 hunters and fishers out there. They're glad to hear you say that. But any other questions for General Harshaw? All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for coming in today.
And if I may, Mr. Speaker.
Please.
I know that we have a looks like a consolidated council meeting scheduled for next month. I currently have a conflict that may make me late or unavailable for the next council meeting, but I'm still trying to resolve that. If it's not able to be moved, then I'll send my regrets in advance.
We will work with you in any way possible. Thank you for letting us know. We always like to know when you're not going to be here. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Next up for FOIA and GRA, I believe in place of Gwen Terrapin will be Deputy Secretary of State Cannon Duncan. Any other questions for Deputy Secretary of State Cannon Duncan? Cannon, I don't see any.
All right.
Thank you for coming in. Next up from the Election Commission, Marcus Fears.
Good afternoon. You have my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions for Marcus Fears and the Election Commission? I will say this, we appreciate the Election Commission sending over their list of recommended changes to the election code. I know that you know this already, but that work group is up and running. There's people assigned to that. They're doing their thing, and just so the people know publicly that there is movement on that, and we'll be looking at those and getting all that back to you as quick as we can.
Very good. Look forward to it.
Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
All right, next from the Tax Commission, Sharon Swepston. Good afternoon, ma'am.
I think you have my report, but just a couple of notes. If you'll notice that this is through September or through our August reports and stuff, and we are ahead on our motor vehicle by about 10% what we were last year on revenues, which is I'm pleased to see because I was a little concerned, but with all the changes and stuff, but it seems to be going really well. So I also wanted to give you a little update on the rebates because I know you had questions last month. We have approved 3,408 of the applications. 1,700 of those has been processed through finance, so they should have received their money or are going to because there's a batch going off this week. So we have about 1,708 that are left. The only step left is to get paid, so that'll be working through finance within the next few weeks. We've approved a total of 3,408, 1,364 ineligibles, and we have 389 that are pending right now, and that's all we have sitting in the portal right now is 389. So that's a drastic improvement from what it was last month. So we've kind of got the kinks worked out and getting it streamlined, and it seems to be working well. So I'll try to answer any questions that you might have.
That's great, ma'am. Any questions? Councilwoman T.
I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. There was an issue that was brought to your attention earlier this month with some signage in the Tahlequah office.
Yes.
And I was just going to inquire on kind of a timeline that might be happening.
I had that removed, and so we work with facilities on getting those new signs up. So as soon as they get them, we'll get them put up. But we went ahead and removed or covered them up. I'm not sure what they did, but they did. They're not where they can be seen now.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, mistakes happen. It's one of those things, and I really appreciate your active efforts in taking care of the situation. I think there's been a little bit of activity or a little bit of a dialogue, discussion around that. So just, you know, assuring people that it is actively being taken care of, and it is,
Yes.
we care about getting it right as much as
Yes, very much
anyone.
so.
Yeah.
So, yes, soon as I spoke to you about that, then I called and I was like, take them down, cover them up. I don't care until we get them fixed. So, but-
Well, we really appreciate you and your office and all of your efforts at you know, taking care of our citizens and taking care of issues and concerns that come your way. You are always right on top of it, and you are absolutely right on top of it in this situation as well. And so just assuring people that that is the case.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the time, Speaker.
Any other questions? Councilman Callison.
Yeah, thank you for coming today. If you don't mind walking through the process, somebody buys a new car, they get a paper tag on it. Whose responsibility is it to send the other one?
The state tag,
Yes.
if they buy it at a dealership, it's the dealership's responsibility.
So, people's getting warnings that they've got a day left on their paper tag. If they don't receive that, what do? Just go to the tag agency and buy their tag, even if it's not due then, or what?
Well, they've got 60 days if they go to the state. Of course, if they come to us, they've got 30 days. But as soon as they get their paperwork, they need to go ahead and get it registered. So
So they may not get the paper tag.
the metal tag.
the metal tag.
The red, the temporary one. There's been some people hadn't got them. Most people are getting them within 2 to 3 weeks of the time that they purchase a vehicle in a dealership. So they're getting those. Most of the issues are when they buy it from an individual, because when they buy it from an individual, that individual can go do that for them, or they have to go in and do it themselves to get that temporary tag.
Okay, because like this person informed me that they said their tag was at the Adair Tag Company, which is the closest one into my district. They wouldn't have the metal tag at all. You would just have to go get your regular Cherokee tag from Adair.
Yes.
The Cherokee tag office up there. So it's up to the state to send them the metal one.
Right.
That
Yeah,
goes
we don't
on
have
that.
anything to do with those. So that all comes from the state tag offices. So
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? No, I would like to say a couple of things. Number one, I figured out quickly, and I'll just say kudos to Councilwoman Teehee over here. Many of the things that happen here with terms of the Cherokee language and syllabary and different things getting changed. While we saw most of that online, Councilwoman Teehee is the boots on the ground as far as having to deal with all of that comes at her from all different directions. And Councilwoman Teehee, thank you for being the frontal face of all that and making sure you're getting the word out there. I know that's adds to your workload, but you do a great job at that. And ma'am, there's one thing that I would like to ask, if we could. On the rebates, I would like to know, if possible, if you could pull this data, how many of those are coming from at-large citizens that are outside what would have been the enhanced jurisdiction? So from across the rest of the state. Could you get me that information?
I will try.
All right, if you can, that'd be great. If not, I understand, but I would like to know as we move forward.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? All right, hearing none, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, self-governance, Shauna Miles.
CO, you have my report before you, and I welcome any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions for us, Shauna Miles? Oh, lucky today. Lucky today.
So let me dash on out now.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. All right, and one of my favorites, Gaming Commission, Audrey Emhoff.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just a couple of items from my report. The next commission meeting is November the 14th at Hard Rock at 9:30. The following meeting will be December 12th here in Tahlequah at the Chota Center. During October, we did backfill 2 positions this month, and that included a gaming agent at Grove Casino and a gaming agent at Hard Rock Casino. And I did just want to thank you for your support for Chairman Sparks' reappointment earlier today. The commission's lucky to have him, and we're looking forward to continuing our work with him. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, any questions for Ms. Emhoff? Yeah, Councilor Legg, please.
Oh, thank you, Speaker. So on the Gaming Commission application for any of our community buildings that are wanting to play like bingo or something like that, what is the cost of to apply?
It depends on, are they playing in their building on a regular basis?
No, I have no idea. I'm just saying, if I get
What-
questioned, what do I tell them?
There is a fee waiver that they could fill out for,
Okay,
and we have that on the website.
I got you. I
Yes,
got you.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So to follow up that, you mentioned playing bingo on a regular basis. So is there different rules
Yes,
for
yes.
like I know in our area, families get together in reunions, whatnot, and they'll play bingo that one time.
Right.
Is there a different application for that process versus an ongoing activity such as bingo?
Right. So the application is the same. What the difference is whether they're exempt or not. So depending on how many times they play per year. Yeah. And that's all explained in the application, but I'm happy to speak with you afterwards as well. You're welcome.
Speaker, if I may, just
You
so
can.
everyone's aware, all the CCO community organizations that operate community buildings, we've held Zooms with them, let them know this information. Tax Commission has worked, or the Gaming Commission has worked directly with them on filling out those forms. So if you have any questions, just holler at us anytime.
Yes. Yep.
Back to that, you say the CCO organizations. Now, would that be the same as outside community members having that on their own behalf, not associated directly with the CCO?
No, so I think our form would require them to be a nonprofit, I believe.
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
So they would have to be a nonprofit status.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, are there any other questions? All good questions, Councilman Grass. Appreciate you. All right. Yeah, everybody loves a good game of bingo. All right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. And I see that Samantha Hendricks is not standing up yet because she thinks I'm going to forget her yet again this month. Ma'am, I'm not going to do that. For Human Resources, if you would please come on up and talk to us a little bit, I would appreciate it. Good afternoon.
Before we get started, I've brought a guest.
You brought somebody with you, I see.
I'm kidding.
If I could, Mr. Speaker and members of the council, I wanted to express my pride and admiration for the Human Resources Department. It's a big job in any context, but in this particular context, there was an executive order in 2022 that said we will get to $15 an hour minimum wage. Of course, we accelerated that using ARPA funds in a special program, but we have now met that. The other thing, and I think this is even more significant, is previously Cherokee Nation, including under my leadership, had not been routinely marketing our positions, not on a scheduled basis. But since then, we have been doing that, and that enables us to stay competitive. We also, in that executive order, said we want to address gender inequity. And so this department, and then across leadership, has been working really hard to improve and to make sure we're competitive in terms of our salaries, which is very important for any entity, but it's certainly important for the Cherokee Nation when we strive to be the employer of choice. People like me can write executive orders, but it's people like Samantha Hendricks and her team that actually have to do the work, and they did the work. And I just wanted to express to the council how proud I am of their work, and Samantha will detail some of the findings in our latest review of our compensation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you, Chief. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. So I have some detailed information to kind of go, not too deep, but deep enough to where we can definitely explore it. So every year we complete an annual compensation review and determine if Cherokee Nation is competitive with their jobs. And what that means is how do we retain our workforce? Many times I come up here and talk about all the great things, but this is something that's a little deeper of what we do behind the scenes in HR. So we have marketed positions consisting of over 1,600 jobs. We do that every year since I've been here. And then in addition to that, that covers 6,000 employees, a little over 6,000 employees. And it's the employees that all consists of market rates, minimum wage, and pay equity. So with the market competitiveness, salaries now match the market rates, confirming our 2023 $10.6 million adjustment workload. So we're saying that it worked. It's something that we've invested in, and it worked. The gender pay equity, it's a major win in 2025. Our pay gap cut nearly in half. We were last year at 16.1. This year we're at 8.55%. That means women earn 91 cents on the dollar of men wages, which is beating the national and state average by 8%. Huge win, huge win. Minimum wage, we just completed our 15-hour minimum wage increase. from October of '25 from the executive order in 2022, fulfilling the executive order commitment. We annually review compensation markets, minimum wage, and gender pay equity. As a result, we continue to see success in our workforce. I also have to add this too. The Cherokee Nation has been named by Forbes as America's Best Large Employer in 2025. So, yeah, pretty exciting. So now I have to say in all of this, because this is very much of a summary, high level, but in summary of this could not be possible without Chief Hoskins, Deputy Warner, the council, and also some of my leadership to, not mine, but my boss. So Chief of Staff, Corey Bunch, without their continued support, because I've had nothing but support since I've been here. And the team, my team that I've had, that I've been working with has been incredibly amazing, and they've stepped up to the challenge every time I've asked for them to. So with that, I guess if you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer those. So.
Wow, thank you for that. Are there any questions for Ms. Hendricks?
It's not a
Councilman.
question, but it's kind of on this same line. I know when you first took over, my first term, I know we were kind of hard on you at times with different questions and different things, and you know, I believe in giving flowers while you're still here, and I think you've done a great job. I think you've improved along, and you and your team have just really shown us, you know, what kind of job that you expect them to do and what you've done. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
There's a bird that agrees with you, Danny.
I'm good with that too.
Does anybody else have any questions for Samantha Hendricks? Ma'am, it looks like no other questions, but I would have one for you. The two positions that have been sent up to your office for grading and hopeful publishing, where do you think we are on that?
I think we'll have those back to you by Monday.
Boy, I like to hear that. That's amazing. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
For coming in.
Thank you.
All right, old business. There's none pending. New business, I would entertain a motion to amend the agenda to include the 5 items from various committee meetings earlier today. We have a move and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None opposed. That motion passes. So those are the 3 or the 5 that you have right in front of you. And so item number A there from the Resource Committee, Councilman Poindexter, would you take that, please?
Yes, sir. This is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Warehouse to donate surplus items to Westville Public Schools, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? There are none opposed. That motion passes. Out of the Education Committee, item number B, Deputy Speaker Easley, would you take that, please?
Yes, yes, sir. This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of John Sparks as a Commissioner of the Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission. Put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? There are none opposed. That motion passes. Item number C, Secretary Sam, would you take that, please?
Yes, Speaker. This is a resolution reappointing Lyndon Emberton to the Citizen Committee on Compensation. I put this in form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none opposed, that motion passes. Item D, Councilwoman Patzkowski, would you take that, please?
A resolution confirming the reappointment of Clarice Doyle as a council appointment to a board seat as an editorial board member of the Cherokee Phoenix, and I move for its approval. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Are there any opposed? Hearing none opposed, that motion passes. Item E, Councilwoman McGeady, would you take that, please?
I will. This is an act amending Title 68 of the Cherokee Nation Code annotated, and I would put this forward in the form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I would like to add a little bit to the discussion before we get going here, before we do a roll call vote on this. Obviously, I'm in full support of this change to this legislation, but I would like to say a couple of things on record before we get going. The changes obviously set us up nicely to roll into January of 2029, based on the new gaming compact, right? And while that's what we have to do, that's really not what we wanted to do, right? We're in this position because we're going to lose the enhanced jurisdiction of the Cherokee Nation and the treatment of those at-large citizens because we had to do that. The Oklahoma governor took a hard line on that, and we negotiated as best we could. I still get calls on that. I know Dr. Coates gets calls on that, and probably many of you guys get calls on that. But I think it's important to note that it is not where we want it to be. You got to remember that there's 145,000 at-large citizens in Oklahoma alone. And while the good thing is the new compact opens up the rebate program to all of those citizens across the state, that is a good thing, but we lose what we had before, which was that enhanced jurisdiction. And I think it's important to note that we fought very hard to keep that. And if it just maybe whenever times change, leadership changes in the future. And Chief, I don't know whether you might want to speak to some of that, but hopefully if leadership changes in the future, we can re-add that enhanced jurisdiction back to the way it was. But I want the citizens to know, especially in the enhanced area of the jurisdiction, that we fought majorly hard to keep that the way that it was. And it is not a decision that we took lightly, but I think that we got the best deal that we possibly could in negotiating this compact, which leads us to the change that we have today. Chief, I would open it up if you would have any comments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't disagree with you at all. We achieved the best deal, and the Attorney General's in the room, and he and his team did an amazing job in an environment that we all understand, which is an environment in which we had a governor that not favorable in terms of tribal relationships. For those of us in the room, including members of the council, including myself, I have to remind myself of this sometimes. It's easy because we're versed in this issue to forget that people who are not immersed in this on a day-to-day basis, council members, myself, the Attorney General, it's easy to, or it's more difficult to sort of understand why is it that we're not able to continue on as we were. And the truth is, we have to remember the fundamentals, which is Cherokee Nation has zero legal authority to issue tags outside of our reservation, none. On that basis, we achieve that when we have a leader of the state that sees some value in an expanded authority to issue tags, win-win type mentality. We didn't have that with the current governor, but we also know that we had to do everything we could to try to keep tags available for at-large citizens. We did that, didn't keep the enhanced jurisdiction, but that is the product of the environment in which we had to negotiate. So I think the Attorney General did an excellent job and his team, and I feel good about my decision-making process there. I know that we always want to achieve the maximum we can, and I believe that we did. In the future, maybe the environment changes. I hope that it does, but I appreciate your comments, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chief. I want to thank the General Harshaw. I know you negotiated long and hard on that, and I do believe between yourself and the leadership of Chief Hoskin and Deputy Chief Warner that we did get the best deal that we possibly could get at this point in time, and I appreciate you, sir, for that. Thank you. With that being said, Shelley, let's roll call vote.
Joe Deere. Kevin Easley. Yes. Ashley Grant. Yes. Uriah Grass. Yes. Lisa Hall.
Yes.
Clifton Hughes. Yes. Johnny Kidwell.
Yes.
Darrell Legg.
Yes.
Kendra McGady. Yes. Dora Petzkowski. Yes. Cody Poindexter.
Yes.
Joshua Sam. Yes. Melvina Shotpouch. Kandessa Teehee. Yes. Sasha Black Fox Qualls,
Yes.
Danny Callison. Julia Coates. Motion passes 17-0.
All right, that motion passes. Thank you all. That finishes up our new business. Are there any announcements? There are no announcements. Well, I do have one announcement. The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 10th at 4 p.m., and it will be chaired by Co-Chair of Rules, Deputy Speaker Kevin Easley. So we'll look forward to that, my friend. And with that being said, I'll entertain one last motion. I have a motion and a second. We are adjourned. Thank you.